Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry about the delay again. I mean, you've probably come to expect, long delays between updates. I actually have been really busy, but I've done a lot of work. I just haven't been able to make a video until now. But we've got a lot of progress done, and I'm really excited to show you guys. I'm really excited to show you guys. I don't remember what the last thing was. No, I'm just kidding. So I think the last time we wanted to have done the buttons. I wanted to get the buttons done, and then I also wanted to get the plastic glued to the canvas belt. I needed to make the canvas belt and get the plastic glued to that, or not glued, but attached to it. So that was all. I think that was all I really wanted to get done before today. We got a lot more done than that. So let's get into let's get into what we have done. So, like I said, wanted to get the belt attached to the plastic, the canvas attached to the plastic. I went and sewed this really bad belt. I've never sewn before. This is my first time sewing, and I mean I'm like pleased with the way that it turned out, but it's kind of trash. I would like to eventually replace this with a different one, either one that I've sewn myself again, better, or one that I have purchased. We'll see. So anyway, it's attached. It is attached. It is in fact attached. You can see here it's pretty close to being done now, right? So I went through, I sewed the belt. It is actually it's like two layers of canvas sandwiched in between or with two layers of elastic sandwiched in there, just to give it this like nice, like stiff, rigid feel to it, right? So it's like it's good. We're good here. We're good here. All right. But all right, so when I attached this here, I didn't want to have like a permanent connection. I just wanted to have something that because I want to replace the canvas eventually with something that looks better. So I didn't want to have anything permanent. A lot of people will just use rivets and make this pretty much a permanent connection. I originally was going to go with snaps. So when I first did this, like, your little snap top here, like this snap, top looks like this top here, right? Where the button cover is. So I had this down in here, right? This was underneath where that button cover is. Started sanding down these button covers, and then I ended up like trying it. I sanded them down, just one down, and then I put a button. Actually, it wasn't this one. It's hard to see. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but like just the height of these, depending on where you like, what who makes them, the height of these changes. It varies, right? From button to button. Not like in the same pack, but like when you buy different packs from different companies, the height of this changes. I had bought one just like a small pack from like a local hobby store or a craft store, just to tide me over to get the belt together. Well, when I made the belt, or when I test fit these, it's real thick. Those ones are real. The tops of those are real thick. I set it in there. I put the plastic cover on, and I panicked. I was so scared because like it didn't fit. It was so thick. This thing was just these buttons were just like floating on top of it. It wasn't even touching the plastic of the belt at all. I freaking panicked. I didn't work on it for like a whole week after that. I realized that the thing was small, and I switched it out for a smaller one, which it fit a little bit better, but it still like kind of had a gap on it. So I consulted with the forums, and the one guy said he said first of all that most people like use Chicago screws, which I wasn't really sure what those were, and I didn't feel like buying another kind of thing when I have tons of snaps already. But then he said to flip it, so I was gonna have like the female end on the plastic part, and then the male end on the canvas part. Well, he said to flip it because then this would be what was in. We can try to show it here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. This would be what was in here, right? And this is flush. This is more flush with Yeah, you see that it's more flush with the ground here, and that worked. I did have it in there. I didn't put the plates on because I wasn't sure if I was going to do that, because then I whipped up. This was kind of like a just a test fit. I put the other side of the snaps on there, and you can already kind of see the way that the snaps are, is that there's this huge gap. And when I had like sort of had this on here, it just didn't look right. So like I said, I originally wanted to use snaps, but I did switch to Chicago screws, like the guy said, like the guy had recommended. And it's a screw and post. This is a 1/4 inch. It's hard to see these. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I don't really feel like taking it out of the bag, so I don't want to put it back in the bag. It's just a screw and a post, right? And it's a 1/4 inch, which was the smallest I could find. And I was kind of worried that would be too big. But you can see the screw on the back there. I'll show you up here. The screw on the back, I've got a little washer in there to help. That actually is like perfect. The thickness of it, you can see there's like no gap at all. But that was really nice. And like I said, because it's a screw, it's not permanent. I can unscrew it, swap out the canvas. So that's great. So that's what I would recommend, using the Chicago screws. You can get them in hardware stores. Actually, you'll notice too that I don't have the holster on. The holster's right here next to me. That's another thing I have to attach to finish the belt. But when I ordered the holster, I was gonna make this, but I decided I didn't feel like, I'm tired of making things. I just wanted to be done, so I ordered it, and it got here like right away. It was just so great. But it came with smaller, so there might be like with like leather workings, or with like fabric and stuff. You might be able to find, like in that section of things, you might be able to find smaller ones. They look like they're just a little bit smaller than a 1/4 inch. I could be wrong. So anyway, with our belt then, so once I got that done, you'll see here too that we have some Velcro on here. We've got our drop boxes on, right? Just sanded those down and put them on, because that didn't take very long at all. That was like really quick. We attached those. Basically, I just put elastic. I just put elastic on the backs of them, and looped it around the canvas. So this, if the canvas isn't attached to the plastic, this will come off. They do slide around a little bit. I think a lot of people will put glue on here to sort of keep them in place. Like I said, I don't want to make this permanent. Like, I don't want to keep this permanent. Even with glue on there, I could probably rip it off fairly easily. But it's fine. Actually, with the Velcro here, this Velcro is to keep it in place when I wear it on my abdomen. So with the Velcro on there, when it's on, these guys sit where they need to be, because they need to actually sit so that they're lined up with the edge of this plastic piece here. The edge of the plastic here needs to line up with the edge of this. It might be slightly off, but once it's sitting on my body, it lines up. It looks fine. So, and then, like I said, once it's on my body too, this holds it in place, so we're good there. And then other than that, I've got some Velcro on the back here as an enclosure for that, or for the closing of that. So blammo. And our belt is, like I said, pretty much done. The only thing we need to do, get the holster on, and then also I started to work on the thermal detonator here, which will just sit on here. Let's do it like this, actually. This isn't glued on. These aren't actually glued on either, but they're like, it's so tight, it's really hard I can't even get them off. I've been trying for weeks to get them off again. They don't come off. This is actually a piece of PVC, just a regular PVC here, 2-inch PVC. I had to paint it gray. I don't know if this is the right color gray. No one's been able to really clarify this. I've asked. No one really. I don't know if there is a right color gray. To be honest, this is just a gray primer that I had for like some of my plastic models. Um, but I had to like, so I cut the 2-inch PVC down, and then because these caps don't quite fit on the 2-inch PVC, I actually had to sit and sand the PVC down for like an hour. I just sat sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding. I don't know if you can see, but it's all like you can see all the scratches and stuff from sanding it down. So yeah, this yeah, it took me a while. My forearms were burning. Got the caps on. Boom. This thing is all sanded down, ready to go. It's just gonna go up on, just go on there like that. It'll just get glued into place, like so, into place. It'll be positioned. I'm not just gonna slap it on there. And then I have a piece of aluminum, an aluminum bar. You can just buy. You can just buy from the hardware store. And then this, you'll just, it's pretty easy to bend, surprisingly. I mean, not surprisingly, it's aluminum, so it's not going to be that difficult. But you just, so I'm going to cut this into, I'm not sure how big. There's a tutorial online, or a guy showed how he did it online with just cutting it, marking out certain bending points, and then just sort of like bending those in a certain way, around. This will kind of like, it'll kind of go around here, right? And then it'll bend back up and then loop around, so that this will hook up. It'll hook onto your belt then, and it'll cover up. It'll kind of cover up like the overlap where your belt sort of connects. And that's that. That'll be that for that one. There. That is the belt. There it is. There it is again. All of its glory. Ta-da. Ta-da. So happy with that. Actually, like you'd be surprised putting the belt on how much it completes the look of the trooper. It's really surprising. The next thing that we wanted to get done was to get these guys painted. Now let's go this way. We want to get these guys painted and put on, and here they are. Now I don't want to show, like, you can kind of see, these are like, if I can get close enough, they look like crap. They don't look too bad from far away, but like, I had a rough time painting these. I made some templates with tape and like a little circle template thing to mask it out, to paint over it, and yeah, that turned out bad. I had to go back over once I took the masks off. I had to, like, it was a mess. I had to go back over and clean up the edges. The edges still look pretty bad, and yeah, I kind of didn't wait long enough in between coats either. So like, it's just real. You know how like when you go to paint over like paint that's still a little bit tacky. Especially these are the gray is enamel, the blue is acrylic, but it kind of did it for both of them, where when it's still a little tacky, it'll like start to pull on that paint and create like it's a mess, right? Do a better job. Be patient, do a better job. I don't know, don't trust templates unless you're gonna like spray paint it. I wouldn't. If you're gonna hand paint it, I would just do it by hand. You can find on the forums, a lot of guys have different techniques for like how to do a good job hand painting. Just take your time, be patient with it. Don't do what I did. But I mean, like I said, it doesn't look bad when you're just looking at it from a distance, and you'll be surprised too. Like when I put these on with the belt and the color, the little bit of color there, it really just like starts to complete the look of the Stormtrooper. You can see we've got this is where I've got some Velcro here for the belt to hold it into place, because it has to, like, the top of the belt kind of sits right about here. So you just gotta make sure that it sort of sits in place and stays there. A lot of people use snaps. They'll put snaps in here. I went with Velcro for now because it was just, I want something that I could use that can make it adjustable to sort of like find the position that I like. I also started adding, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I started adding in some of the higher level details. There's a male snap, that's the Han snap there. And then there's some rivets on the side here. I might have used the wrong rivets, so I might be taking these out and putting different ones in. It's just going to be a little bit tricky to get these out without like destroying everything. I did start painting them, but I'm gonna take them out probably. And then the one down here too it also needs, I think it needs replaced. But yeah, that's the ab there, done. It's pretty much done. All right, we got the boots here. That's another thing we started, or did. So these were black boots. I think I showed these off in the second video. I might have done. I think I did an unboxing of like some soft parts and stuff that I got. But these were black boots. I tried to like remove the shine off of them, and then I painted them with like I'll show you here. It's for auto interiors, vinyl and fabric. I got this at an auto parts store. So I figured like if it's good enough for car seats where you're putting your butt all the time, like and rubbing and stuff, and it'll work for that. Figured boots would be fine. I was horribly mistaken. I don't know if I just didn't prep the surface well enough, but it is. I don't even know if I'll be able to show you this. It's cracking. It's kind of coming off on the top here, but that doesn't matter. It like didn't, for some reason, it's a fabric paint, but any of the like it didn't hit on this at all. I had to use another actual like fabric paint and brush it on. They didn't paint any of these threads. I had to do the same thing, paint those with a different kind of paint. So yeah, I would say that was kind of crap paint for this. So yeah, I mean, it gives it. I'm pleased with how it turned out. Right, it looks fine. I think you can kind of see my tape. I'm really bad at taping. And you can see like all the marks. But they're boots. Like I don't know who's going to be looking at your boots. If it becomes an issue, then I will probably either try a different kind of paint, or eventually I'd like to probably get some like TK boots. People make boots for Stormtrooper, so might try to get some of those. They're expensive and it's hard to get them. So yeah, I just needed something. I think these work for what I need for right now, at least. Yeah, it'll get me through. Hopefully, we'll see. I've never trooped in them, so like maybe they're trash. Maybe my feet are gonna fall off because they're so bad. I don't know. I don't think they're not as tall as regular Stormtrooper boots, so that's an issue too. You can see there's some Velcro on here. We'll get into that some more with the shins, but like yeah, the shins don't quite. The one shin, well, what happens is because they're not as tall, like when you're walking, the shins tend to pop off. I think that's what happens with a lot of troopers. And everybody has like some kind of different way. I'm gonna try some Velcro. I've seen people do they put snaps on here because we've already got this thing, and I'm not sure exactly where they attach the other snap to, like where it snaps to. But somewhere in the shin, I'm assuming. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to keep my shins on my boots here. But I mean, like, they didn't turn out great, but I think they'll do for now, at least. But yeah, that's what I did. So, what's next? Speaking of the shins, then I guess we'll move on to the shins. We'll start with the right shin, because the right shin, when I first had the right shin, the cover strip was on, right? So all we did for the right shin was we put the cover strip on the back here, and then you can see that there's Velcro. Hopefully you can see that there's Velcro. It might be hard to see because it's white, but you can see there's Velcro. Yeah, so that this just closes now with Velcro, which I think a lot of people use like little like bra hooks and they drill holes in there, and I feel like they have elastic. They sew it to elastic. I don't know how you would even put those on. to be honest. And then I don't know. I feel like I went with Velcro because it just, you know, seems like it's a little bit easier to handle. But yeah, I tried it. It works nicely. I'm pleased with it. So that's the right shin is now done. The shin is done. We're done with this shin. It's completely done. Good. Good. Go on. The left shin. The left shin. Let me get the right shin back. Let me close. Well, you can kind of see here. I'm going to try to show you. With the way that the shins look, the hole on the left shin. Close this. This is a kind of a known issue with this armor. The kind of hard to see, but maybe I can show you here. The fitting. So this is the left shin. This is the right shin. It's hard to see here. You can definitely, when you're putting them on, you can definitely tell that the shin, the left shin, is much narrower at the ankle than the right shin is. You can kind of see the shape of it. It's completely different. So I basically, whenever you're kind of assembling everything, what a lot of people do is they sort of like go by the cover strip size, right? So you want the cover strips to be the same size. So you will find it, and I'm the size of like a regular Stormtrooper. So the standard fit, the standard cover strip size works for me for the most part, except for right here. This is where I got into trouble because the ankle, because of the shape of the ankle, doesn't quite fit. It fits, but it's like really snug. Let's flip this around here. It's really snug. So the only way to fix that I can think of would be to take this cover strip off, make a wider cover strip, and then sort of just widen it out a bit. And that's kind of a lot of work because then I would want to do that to not just the other side, but also would want to do that to the thighs as well, because you want this size of the cover strip to be consistent throughout your sort of like the front of your legs. Yeah, you can see here they're not the same ones, but you can kind of see here that the thigh and the shin, the cover strips are the same size. So like I kind of don't want to do that. Like I said, it fits. It's just a little too tight, but I think it'll be fine. I can kind of like, because of the way the Velcro is, I can kind of like, it won't look pretty while I'm trooping, but like I could kind of like keep it a little bit loose in the back. You know what I mean? Like I have it like kind of play with it. Like I said, it won't look pretty while I'm trooping, but it wouldn't be too bad then. The only other thing we need to add to it is the this gets the sniper plate here, so this will just get trimmed out and placed on here, and then we'll have our shin done. But this is going to take. I just have to cut this all out here. I think I got confirmation that this is basically no return edge on this inside part. I've seen people that leave a little bit of return edge. So I might just take it down a lot more, maybe leave a tiny little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Once I start fitting it on, I should be able to tell then. But then we have to cut. Basically, I'm pretty pleased with this line that I have here. And I did get some confirmation that the line's pretty okay. I think there's like a slight curve on the top here where it sort of like comes and then it curves out this way a little bit. So I gotta adjust for that and fix this line then. And then you want to have these you don't want sharp corners on your builds ever, because where you have these sharp corners, I didn't intend on having a sharp corner here. That was just sketching the line out, you know. But you don't want sharp corners because that's where things break. So yeah, we'll have to cut this down, glue it on, and then that'll be that done, you know. that'll be that. So all we have left to do now, if we just sort of tally that up, the belt's almost done, right? We just have to attach the holster. And then for attaching the holster, I mean, that's real simple. We just got to pop a couple of holes in here, pop a couple of holes in here, throw in some Chicago screws. The holster's on. The holster is done. Holster's got some junk on it. And then to complete the belt totally, then we just have to finish the thermal detonator, which, you know, all I have to do for that is bend that aluminum bar to make the clips, which is probably going to be actually a lot of work. Not a lot of work. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how well it's going to go. Anyway, so then that'll be the belt done completely. And then we have the shin left. We got to get the shin here, sniper plate cut down and then glued on here. And that'll be that done. That won't take very long. That's just cutting, sanding, and gluing, which would take, you know, no time at all. And other than that, we just have, you guys remember from the last update, we just have this here. This is the ammo belt for the thigh, which will go over here, on here. Centered, of course. This just gets riveted, blam, done. Actually, I do still need to sand a little bit. I did trim it. You can see this end is a lot longer than this end. I got to remember which side is the upside. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've trimmed this, so I have to figure that out first. And then the bottom corners on each side here will get cut, rounded down, so they'll be rounded. So that's the only thing the only trimming I have to do on this before I can rivet it, and then rivet it on there, and we're done with that. And that's it. That is the body of the armor completely finished. All right, guys. So the end of the video kind of got screwed up, got messed up real bad, and then I've been trying to get this video out for a week, so we're just gonna do a quick voiceover for the end of it. As I was saying, the body will be done. It's almost done. And then after that, we just have the helmet to do, which is like the most exciting part, but also the most terrifying part. So I'm gonna try to do a little bit different of a format for the helmet, but I'm real excited about it. And you know, if you guys want to check that out and you're already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. I'm hoping to get another video out very soon because, like I said, I'm really close to having the body done. There's not a lot of work left to do, so it shouldn't take me too long. In fact, I'm kind of working on it right now. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.